What if you received a letter from someone who died 20 years ago? What if the postmark on that letter was dated 1 month in the future? This isn't just a thought experiment. This is the story of Daniel Carter, and a message that defied time itself. For Daniel Carter, it was just another Tuesday. The sun cast long shadows across his quiet suburban street as he walked to his mailbox, a daily ritual he performed without a second thought. Bill's junk mail, a postcard, but then something different, a single cream-colored envelope with no return address. His name and address were written in a familiar, almost forgotten script. It was a handwriting he hadn't seen in 2 decades. He took it inside, his heart beginning to beat a little faster. He sliced it open with a kitchen knife. The letter inside was short, written on a single sheet of matching paper. The words were simple, but they sent a chill down his spine. Daniel, they're coming for you. You have to hide. I'm sorry, Mark. Mark, his childhood best friend. The friend who had died in a tragic car accident 20 years ago. Daniel sank into a chair, his mind reeling. A cruel prank it had to be, but the handwriting was perfect. An exact match to the old birthday cards Mark had given him, which were tucked away in a box in his attic. Who would go to such lengths, and why then? His eyes fell on the top of the letter. The date. It was written clearly, in the same familiar handwriting. It was dated 1 month from today. A date from the future. The first few days, Daniel tried to dismiss it. He told himself it was an elaborate, sick joke. He searched online for services that could forge handwriting, trying to find a logical explanation. But the more he thought about it, the less sense it made. The letter felt real. The warning felt urgent. He visited Mark's grave, the cold stone, a stark reminder of his friend's absence. Staring at the dates etched into the granite, the impossibility of the letter became an icy weight in his stomach. What do you think is going on? Is it a ghost? A prank? Comment what you think really happened. Then the strange things began. It started subtly, a flicker of movement in his peripheral vision as he walked down the street. The feeling of being watched, a persistent, unnerving sensation that he couldn't shake. He'd see a dark figure standing at the far end of the block, only for it to be gone when he blinked. He started checking his locks 3-4 times before going to bed. A week after the letter arrived, another envelope appeared in his mailbox. This one was identical to the first. Inside, another message: they see you. They know you read it. Daniel's blood ran cold. The handwriting was different this time. It was his own. He stared at the looping letters, the precise way he crossed his T's. He hadn't written this. He couldn't have. Yet there it was, his own hand, warning him. His world started to unravel. Time itself seemed to become unstable around him. The digital clock on his bedside table would glitch, its numbers flickering between random hours and minutes. He'd look away for a second, and when he looked back, an hour would have passed in an instant. Or worse, time would have reversed. He started setting up cameras around his house, desperate for proof that he wasn't losing his mind. He needed evidence. He needed to show someone what was happening. If you're finding this mystery as chilling as I am, please like the video to support the channel. It helps us bring more dark mysteries like this to you every day. The footage he captured was more terrifying than he could have imagined. On the recordings, he saw himself moving through his house in disjointed loops. He would walk into the kitchen, and a moment later he would glitch back to the doorway, repeating the action. Shadows would stretch and twist in impossible ways, moving independently of any light source. In one terrifying clip, the footage from the living room camera showed the front door creaking open on its own. No one entered. But for a single, distorted frame, a tall, thin silhouette was visible standing in the hallway, where Daniel knew he had been standing alone. Time wasn't just glitching, it was being rewritten, and something was rewriting it with him. More letters started arriving daily, all in his own handwriting. Stop looking, you can't escape your own timeline. They are you. The messages grew more fragmented, more desperate. He stopped leaving the house. He unplugged all his clocks. He boarded up the windows, but he couldn't board up the feeling that the walls themselves were watching him. He was a prisoner in his own home, and a prisoner in his own time. He became convinced that time was folding in on itself. He theorized that his future self was sending messages back, trying to warn him, trying to break a cycle he was doomed to repeat. Mark's letter wasn't from a ghost. It was the start of the loop, a bootstrap paradox, a message with no true origin, existing only to perpetuate its own terrible cycle. And Daniel was at the center of it all. He started scribbling frantic notes, trying to map out the temporal loops, the glitches, the paradoxes. His walls became a canvas of madness, covered in dates, diagrams, and a single repeated question. Who are they? The final letter arrived on a Thursday morning. It was from Mark again, the same familiar handwriting from the very first letter. It was placed directly on his doormat, bypassing the mailbox entirely. The message was just one sentence. I'm sorry I couldn't save you from becoming me. Daniel read the words, and for the first time he understood. This wasn't just happening to him. It had happened to Mark, too, and now, it was his turn. The cycle had to continue. When police were finally called by a concerned neighbor who hadn't seen Daniel in days, they found the house empty. The front door was unlocked, swinging gently in the breeze. The inside was a chaotic mess of notes and diagrams. Food was left on the table as if he had vanished mid-meal. There was no sign of a struggle, no sign of forced entry. Daniel Carter had simply disappeared. He was gone, without a trace. Investigators logged every piece of evidence, but nothing led them to an answer. The case went cold, another file in a cabinet of unsolved disappearances. But they missed one thing. On the table, amongst the scattered papers, lay the first letter, the one that started it all, the one from Mark. As the camera slowly zooms in, we can see the date written at the top. The ink is still fresh, and as we watch, the numbers begin to shift. The month changes. The day ticks forward, then backward. The date on the letter, the one from the future, is changing again. The loop isn't over. It's just waiting for its next recipient. The warning is still out there, traveling through time, looking for its next victim. What do you believe happened to Daniel? Was he erased from time, or did he become the very entity that was haunting him? Comment what you think really happened. Subscribe for more daily dark mysteries, and don't forget to check the link in the comments for something special. Thanks for watching The Shadow Sphere.